Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my little office corner here. So, okay, let's actually find another hat here and get a little serious because it is more of a serious question. So, let's be a little more serious. So, a subscriber had asked our opinion on medical marijuana, and I'm gonna give you my opinion, and because I don't, I'm just gonna give you my direct, honest opinion on medical marijuana, and I'm gonna give you my opinion based off of me. So not based off of what my mom would say, not based off of what the internet says or left says, the right says. I'm giving you my opinion based off of if it was me on that. So, I am aware, and I'm going to give my opinion based off of the knowledge that I know. I am aware of medical marijuana helping kids with autism. So, I have seen the videos and I have seen the data that medical marijuana actually can help autistic kids. So, I think if you genuinely are diagnosed with autism and you actually have autism, like there's a lot of very high functioning kids and adults with autism. I think the high functioning kids would be best not on it, but there are those that have seizures. There are those that have some major problems, not high functioning autism. And I think medical marijuana for them, for kids that actually have spasms and seizures, I think if it does show that it helps them, then I am for that. We live in an age where if medical marijuana is legalized, I think it is very heavily abused. And just as an example, I went on a recent trip to New York with some friends, and everywhere you went in New York City, it smelled outside. It smelled completely of just marijuana. Like the whole city is just smelled like marijuana. To me, it was sickening. It was disgusting, the smell. And the sad thing is, we live in an age where if you're in a state that it's legal for medical marijuana, it's not super hard to get prescribed for medical marijuana. And I think a lot of people abuse that. If it was me personally and I had some kind of problem, I would do everything in my power to change my life before I would look into the option of medical marijuana. Let's say I had a problem with shaking. Let's say, because there are downsides to marijuana. Like there are actual downsides to it medically and health reasons. It's why, I'm not going to get into that because we could just spend hours on here. So I'm just giving you my opinion based on what I would do. I would try everything in my power. For example, if I was overweight and I had problems, I would do everything in my power to get healthy, to get thin. I think for a female, 125 to 145 pounds. Maybe depends on your height and stuff. 125 to 165 pounds for a female, I think would be a great weight in between there. So if I was a female, I would get in between there. Probably as a female, probably 150, 140, I think would be the ideal if I was a female. As a male, I would focus on if I had health problems, and this goes just in general. If I had health problems, I would focus on trying to get between 175 and 180, 185. and 185 if you have muscle, if you're muscular, if you are lifting weights. I think that would be between 170 and 185 would be ideal. If you lift weights, if you lifted no weights, probably one's around that close to that 170 range. If you just did no weights at all, so I would first get there health wise, and I know a lot of people aren't going to like that because people would rather turn to medications and turn to stuff like medical marijuana before getting their health right. And a lot of people, come up with the excuses of, well, I had these problems, so that's why I have this weight. Or, and I'm not going to get into that because then it kind of gets into what you think and how you think is what you are and how you are. So what you think is often what you become. So if you think that, you can't lose weight, or you think that, you have an illness or a problem and it's, well, it's not related to my being overweight, or it's not related to what I eat, or it's not related to what I drink, then it's not going to be related. Because, we often, what we think about and how we act is what we do and what we become. And I am a firm believer in that. So I would want to get health right. With fitness and stuff. Number 2, I would also then watch my sugar intake, my salt intake. And this is all stuff I would do way before medications. So if I'm just magically dropped in a person's body and I'm on medications for whatever, I would keep taking those medications, but I would take half of the doses and while focusing on my health and fitness. Like I would get my fitness and health on track before I would ever turn to anything else. And that's just who I am, and that's just based off of me and my personal experiences. So with that being said, I would focus on my health, and to lose weight, you have to take in less calories. Now, some people are all about carbs and that stuff, but to dumb it down, you will lose weight if you eat less calories than you burn. So if you eat 2,000 calories and you burn 2,500 calories, you will lose weight slowly over time. If you eat 3,000 calories and you burn 3,500 calories, you will lose weight slowly over time. A lot of people get really hardcore into keto and carnivore diet and vegan and the Mediterranean diet. Like, a lot of people go so hardcore into stuff. And at the end of the day, whatever diet you decide to motivate you, I'm not going to get into my beliefs on some of those diets, because that's not the video. So I would get my health focused on. I would walk a minimum of 30 minutes per day. Again, if I had any health issues, I would walk a minimum of 30 minutes. If I could not walk, for whatever reason. Now, I'm a kind of person that even if I had pain in my foot, my toe, my ankle, my leg, whatever it is, I would still walk because that's who I am. Not long ago, well, it might be long ago by now, I was down by the river and I did a flip in the water, and the water was shallow. So I was on a rope. I did a flip. Some people might have even seen the video. I did a flip off the rope and I landed and I had my feet pretty much, so if my feet are like this, I had them angled a little bit as I came straight into the water, and there were a lot of rocks there. There's no doubt that I probably sprained or something. Now, I didn't go to the doctor or anything. I had pain for 6, 7, 8 months, and I just I walked through it, I fought through it, and now it's completely fine, and I'm back to normal. And that's who I am. Like, I'm the kind of person, like, if I wake up and I have back pain, that's not gonna stop me. Like, if my back hurts, I'm gonna do all the normal stuff that I normally do, because based on a lot of my own research, is if you have pain or something and you stop doing what you normally would do, your body kind of molds to that new norm, that new normal. And I am a strong believer that mindset is everything. I'm a strong believer that positivity is everything. So if there's something, I just continue what I normally would do, like a normal day. And in the pain, I just suck it up. I just go on. So for me, I would walk 30 minutes per day every single day, rain or shine. I wouldn't care. If I had any health issues, and this, I would do all of this before I would ever turn to medication, before I would ever turn to marijuana, and that stuff. So it's very hard for me to tell somebody how to live their life. It's very hard for me to say. I can just say what I would do. And I know that human nature is 9 times out of 10 or 9.5 times out of 10, people will just do whatever they want to do anyway, despite what I have to say or my opinion. But, you know, and that's okay. You know, this is just my opinion and thoughts on it. So I would do everything in my power to get to where I need to do. I'm also a big person who does not like doctors that much. I have seen more people go into hospitals and come out in worse shape than come out completely healed and normal without any problems. If you guys look up, in fact, I'll do it right here, right now. Yeah, so yeah, in 2022, a study was done. More than 7 million people in 2022. Let's see. Yeah, it's nearly 6% of everybody that goes, and they're trying to, obviously this is Google, so they're gonna really hype this up. But they're taking, so what they do is they're taking the whole 130 million people that go to hospitals, 6% of them are misdiagnosed, which comes out to be 7 million people, is what they're saying. Another study finds 7.4 million people a year. Now that's a year are misdiagnosed. And every year there's on average between 371 to 800,000 people die, for that should not have died based off of doctors and stuff. And I'm not, that's my opinion. That's one person's, that's just data that's actual real. And I'm not going to go into that. So I'm not a big fan of doctors. I try and stay out of them, and I have no interest in going for stuff. And we could go deeper in that. So my opinions are based on that. For example, I did not get the COVID shots. I did not believe in it. Plenty of people around me did. My wife did for her job, COVID shots, booster shots and stuff. I did not get COVID at all through the whole thing. Before COVID was announced, I think I did get COVID before it was even COVID, because I got sick and how I got sick was it was like the flu. I didn't throw up or anything, but I had a headache that made me feel like I was gonna die. And now this was before COVID was announced, I think like a couple months. So either that was it or it just never was. So, and my wife, got the boosters and shots and never got COVID. So I don't know, maybe it's, our routine, because I'm very big into certain supplements and certain vitamins like B12 and D3. So I keep us up on track and activated charcoal and stuff like that. I do think a lot of stuff does come into play, and also how you eat. I am a believer in red meat, but also I'm a believer in not red meat every single day, 7 days a week. I'm a very big person on balance. So again, just it's a longer video, but it all goes back to who I am as a person. So I would do everything in my power to not get to that point. If I had a autistic, if I knew someone autistic that was actually having seizures and stuff, obviously, yes, I would absolutely look into medical marijuana and look into it and actually see how it works. on that person. So, but if it was me personally, I would do everything in my power not to. And that's just who I am. And one thing I think a lot of people have to remember is this controls a lot. Okay. This can make you sick, and this can help you. You can't be naive and think, I'm going to drink. For example, I had a nice coffee today. Scott, I can't be naive and think, well, I can get a Starbucks completely sugarized iced coffee every day, 7 days per week, and there's not going to be any side effects. But I can be logical and say, okay, I can have one iced coffee a week, or maybe two. Maybe that's probably pushing it, and stuff. But at the end of the day, if something ever came up for me, like any health reason, like health issue or something, I'm 35, I'm still young, but I don't have these problems that a lot of people in their 30s keep saying. Like, all my friends said, well, wait till you hit 30, you'll understand. I hit 30, 31, 32, and I don't understand. Like, a lot of people say, well, they barely can get out of bed at 35, or they're just so sore when they're moving around. And I think a lot of that, I could go on forever and ever on why I think that I'm completely fine. Like, I could go and roll and do, you know what? Give me a second. Like, for me, 35, I still say that I can do pretty much anything I could do when I was 18 or 19. And I think a big part of that is to always stay active and always stay young. And that means always stay active and young up here, but also with your body. Like, and I'm a big supporter on that. And I think that trickles back to everything. Like, I'm a big fan of, if you could do something natural, do it natural. I'm a big fan of actual real data. Like, for example, did you know that most headaches are caused because of their swelling in your brain? And at certain positions in your brain, certain spots can swell more than others, which, you get these different headaches. Sometimes you have that like really tired headache that kind of feels like it's in your eyes, like right up in here. That's because, they're swelling because of the strain. And there's so much information on this stuff. And when you start to realize that, okay, so, headaches, certain things, you can adjust yourself. So, that's one person's opinion to another based on my life experiences and what I have seen. And once in a great while, if I do have a headache, I will try and calm myself. I will try not to have any salt, because salt can contribute to retaining water and swelling in your brain. So I try and cut back salt for that day and see if the headache goes away. If it doesn't, I will take Tylenol, whatever. And I will snap it in half. So you're supposed to take one, I think it's one every, maybe one a day or two a day, or one every couple hours. I don't know. But I just take one and I break it in half, and I just have half of it. And what that does is that assists your body, your natural, let's just say your natural chemicals, your natural healing, basically, that your body goes through. Your body goes through stages. If you hurt yourself, if you cut yourself, if you eat something wrong, your body goes through these natural stages to help yourself. If you're sick, your body will naturally go into fight. And the problem with a lot of our medications are people take them and it kind of sends a signal to the system. Oh, whoa, this is all this. So this is going to replace my body's fighting ability. Well, you don't want to replace it. So what I do is I will take half of whatever they say to take. And by doing that, it's my body's naturally fighting, and then it's getting this little extra boost, not to replace my body fighting, but to assist. And 9 times out of 10, that solves an issue. And you could say, well, that's maybe that's you. I mean, I've do it with my wife, and for her, I would say 7 out of 10 times it her headache's gone in an hour, 2 or 3 hours, give or take. So, but I'm a big fan on, doing everything you can to not get to that headache point. If I have a headache now, 8 times out of 10, when I have a headache, it's because of stress, of, I'm tired from working hard. And then I know what to do. And I think the best thing we can do is understand our bodies, because if you understand your body, for example, if I have coffee, like an iced coffee, and I eat very little because it artificially makes me feel full, and then all of a sudden it just hits me like I'm really hungry, I can get hot flashes, shaky, dizzy. If I let it go too long, a little nauseated. So I know what to do. I know that I need to eat, and I probably got to eat a quite amount of food. So bagels help. Bread helps in that situation. Bagel and cream cheese, bagel and peanut butter, pretzels, that kind of stuff then helps. Or if I have too much food with acid in it, hot stuff. If you ever get to that shaky point though, like eat bread and stuff, like just learn your body. And I think that's the biggest thing that you guys and we can do. So that's my thoughts. And, I'm not like these people that just give simply, yeah, sure, medical marijuana is great if you have seizures, but other than that, probably not. I go into details because that's who I am. I go into my thoughts and my reasoning, and if people agree or not, that's okay. It's like everybody always has been telling me. For example, people said I would never have 1,000 YouTube subscribers. Okay, that's fine. If you believe that, that's cool. Well, we have almost 300,000 on our review channel. People have said, well, yeah, your methods, you're always going to be in pain if you hurt yourself and you continue to do what you normally do, you're going to always be in pain. And well, here I am, and I'm great. I don't wake up with pain. I don't know. I can only tell you what I do, and it works. And I don't mean to be cocky or prideful about that. But, I mean, I can't, yeah, I don't know. So if people want to believe me, follow me or not, that's fine. I guess you'll just see as I get older. Yeah, obviously as you get older, you're going to have aches and pains and just natural stuff. But I always find people that, are in their 30s, they're always like, well, you'll see one day. Well, I mean, one day I'm sure I will, but there's a lot that we can do. And I think it starts with understanding your body and understanding actual facts and not lying to ourselves. For example, I'm overweight still. I'm 196 pounds. I'm still overweight. I eat too much. I drink too much sugary stuff because I love iced coffees. And I know that. I need to get more sun. I need to walk more. I know all this stuff because I know my body. And, when you know yourself, it helps big time. So, I'm just going to take a nap. All right. Anyway, so that's my thoughts. I think medical marijuana is overly abused. I think a lot of people believe doctors or believe what they read online as far as their health. I think people try and take easy routes first before the hard route. I think people would rather just, if they have problems with something, they would rather just simply, take a pill, or, take medication, or, hop on this medical marijuana train, or this or that, cannabis, cannabis, medical marijuana, cannabis or marijuana or medical marijuana, whatever. I think a lot of people just, and that's life. That's life. If everyone ignored the shortcuts, big pharma wouldn't be able to make the money they make. All these companies wouldn't make the money that they make. So you have to ask yourself, what is pushed? For example, too much coffee is not good. Coffee is very heavy on metals. heavy metals are linked to dementia and Alzheimer's. It's no big shock that every 5 years they push heavy drinking of coffee. They say it's good, and then in 5 years, then they're like, it's probably not the best. You should only have so amount, and then it's pushed. It's no surprise when you look at the data on that. So I think you need to have balance of everything, and learning your body and learning yourself to make that balance is perfect. Balance with work, balance with your love life, balance with what you drink and what you eat, balance with your exercise. For example, I'm a firm believer in walking, but I'm not a believer in running. And that's just based off of the people that I've known that have been running for many years. Oftentimes have a lot of aches and pains when they hit their older age, but they don't regret it. So that's also another thing. It comes down to each and every one of us. I want to live to be 100, and I'm going to try whatever I can, but I'm also going to enjoy life. I'm going to have my iced coffee from time to time, and I'm going to learn my body. I'm going to do these things because, I want to eat McDonald's sometimes. And, I've learned from these different people like Donald Trump, Warren Buffett. They eat McDonald's, they drink a Coke, they still do these things, but it comes down to the balance. If you do it every day, well, obviously you're going to have some problems. Your arteries aren't going to be doing too well, but you can still enjoy life and still be smart by knowing your body and having a good balance. And I think that's all we all need to search, is try to have the best balance in everything we do. And that's just my life goal, is to balance everything I do. A lot of people say, and I used to be one of them, and I'm still conflicted on this, but a lot of people say, don't stress, it's going to kill you. But the thing is, you ask people that are high functioning, that are in their 70s and 80s and still running a business, they say they've been stressed since day one. And I think it comes down to your joy. I think it comes down to your kid-like mentality, because it does seem like a lot of the people that live longer do have a younger mentality. They're a little bit childish in a way, or they just have that young mentality. And I think that comes down to, positive mindset, loving life, enjoying life, and just living and having fun, not letting trolls or negativity take you down. So that's my thoughts on it. If anyone has any questions or wants my thoughts or opinions on any other subject, go ahead and leave a comment, like our subscriber. I don't normally say who says what, because maybe some people don't want their name out there. Like, I could say who said it, or who asked the question. They said, what about medical marijuana? I think it was how they said it. So you can leave a comment, and I will do videos like this based off of my own personal opinion. You can take offense to what I said. You could agree with what I said. You could strongly disagree with what I said. That's the great thing. That's my opinions, and I'm not forcing my opinions on you. I'm just simply telling you how and what I would do first before I would ever look into medical marijuana. And if I exhausted every single option in the world, like actually exhausted the options, not just, oh, well, I tried to eat good for a week and it didn't do good. No, you spend a minimum of 12 months consistently doing something. So for example, if you just constantly have headaches every day or every other day, well, then you spend a minimum of 12 months cutting out salts, cutting out sugar, making sure you get some red meat, because meat is very important for us with the iron and other stuff. Cutting out coffee, so stop drinking coffee every single day. Cut down to 1 to 2 cups a week. There's a lot of stuff that we need to do. Get back to the basics of life, Get back to the, you don't got to go to the extreme of back to Adam and Eve garden life, but get to a point in history when some of these problems weren't really problems, and then give it 12 months consistently, nonstop. And if it doesn't change anything after 12 months, then you seek another route, and then another route. For example, there's a lot of people that are way too thin. Like they're almost anorexic thin, and they have a lot of problems, a lot of back problems, a lot of sleeping problems, and a lot of stuff. But I've tried to help some, and they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that, they need to get on a red meat diet. They need to get on a diet where they gain weight, because it's also not good to be too thin. If you're too thin, anyway, I could go on forever and ever. It's balanced, my friends. Don't be too heavy, don't be too thin, and don't drink too much coffee. I do think drinking some coffee can be good. Don't take too much medication. Seek other. It's just, and that's my thoughts. And I'm always gonna be honest. I'm not gonna be on here and give you a 2-minute answer for something and just be wishy-washy like most people. You're gonna get a true personal opinion option, and you can like it, you can hate it. That's the great thing is, if you tell me, Scott, I completely disagree with everything you just said, I would say, okay, that's your opinion. This is my opinion. If you completely disagree with me, that's cool. We can still be friends. We just don't need to talk about this subject anymore. Have a blessed day. Love you, because that's who I am now. I don't let the negative of other people or other people sway what I know that works. So I'm going to keep being me, and I hope you guys keep being you. But if you do have problems and you do want to change, then, my friends, it's up to you to change. It's up to you guys to change, and do whatever you see works. Have a blessed day, guys.